Just doing my back testing. So my strategy. 2 time frames, 1 hour and 5-minute chart. I designated this as my uptrend. So 5 crosses 13, and I'm an uptrend. So November 3rd is where I will only look for longs. So looking for that line. Alright, so strategy wise. So I'm looking at this day. So I will mark the highs and lows to give me reference of where I want to be of the previous day. Okay, so I go into this day looking for only longs. Market's trending down, down, down. Hits the bottom of this long wick candle. Sets a slightly higher high. This is now a 534. So comes up here. Crosses over. Not considered a pullback. Alright, we got a small pullback here. We could have a play here towards the end of the day. We got a rejection, but I'm not trying to play that close to the end of the day anyway. So this would be an invalid play. Right, well, what? Here, right? Oh yeah, we're here. Okay, so day number 2. New high and lows. Okay, so I enter this day. Already upper half of the day. Got a nice pullback early morning. Still here. Crosses over here. My cash flow's good. I got a little bit of room to go here. Got the wrong drawing tool. So let's look for the short-term fib. So much growth I got out of this play. I do have support right there. So at this candle, closes here, go up at least 2, which is roughly where this is. So I'd be getting on that bar. So it's a valid play. Okay, so next day, we got the high of the day, got the low of the day. Zoom in a little bit. Alright, so day opens up over the high. It is in an uptrend. Alright, so a little overextended here. Pull back. Always want to at least pull back to here. So it's definitely overextended and it's into support. So I want to see something a little cleaner into support. Even if I wanted to play that short move here. So there I got a pretty deep pullback short term. If I go even further here, I try to go off the meat of the move, then definitely don't have enough pullback, right? So I look for more. So as you can see, it goes down, rejects into here, doesn't clear that. Rejects into here, doesn't clear that. It does here, but now we're under the moving average. Goes all the way down here. Removes this fib. It's coming in towards the bottom of the day. So it's rejecting the clear bottom, starts making a new uptrend. And then right here midday, we cross over. We get a nice pullback and a play right here. So let's see if this gives us enough room for the day. So nice 61.8. Top of the day is 161.8. Can always get out around here, so that's a valid play. New high of the day. New low of the day. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so goes up overnight. Has a nice pullback. It's pretty nice. So if you want to fib this big guy, we're looking pretty deep 38, which is okay. And comes up. Need a pullback before we play. It's not really much pullback here. And if we did, it's not even 61.8, plus you don't got much room. So we don't like that. So then we come up to this high of the day here. We get a pretty good pullback into this level, but then it dips under here. Once it crosses back over, we do get this little crossover point right here. So that would be our look to get entry, but then it dips, and then it's down all day. So wouldn't look to get in this day. Obviously hindsight's 20/20, but I try to be as realistic as possible on what I would play and what I wouldn't. So high of the day here. It's there. Next day looks pretty good, so we're getting some triple bottom action, which is obviously really nice to start. Comes up here. We got an immediate rejection right away. First thing of the day. Looks good at 61.8. We also reject here. Our cash flow is above 0. So this would be a valid entry. Only problem is you're starting out at 100. But as you can see, starting out at 100, we still got room to go. So there's nothing wrong with that. So this looks pretty good. So obviously this move would fail. There is a chance here that you'd want more of a pullback. Also, sometimes I don't play first thing in the morning, so if I did, it'd be over here, which would obviously be a really good play. But hindsight's 20/20, can't do it. So that would be a failed trade. You get stopped out anywhere in here, depending on where you put your stop loss. Not doing that right now. So new high of the day, new low of the day. So you got this tight here, pullback, climb, pullback. So still in that sweet spot, around 63 probably. So 61, yeah, 62. So like that. Comes up here, crosses, has a shallow candle there. So looking a little further into this. This is the other previous high. We clear this high up here. So looking here. You got pullback here. You got an entry here, and you got a rejection here with the cross. So this is a really good spot. Looks a little interesting here, right? But you scroll out, sometimes your day trades, you got to be a little macro, right? So high to low of the previous day. This spot's actually rejectingly perfect at 61.8, so that's really nice to see. And then it crosses over, you get a nice little hammer candle, and you can go up. You got a lot of room, not much risk, so that's a good play. Sec for my nuggets. Alright, do a couple more for the night before I hit the bed, hit the hay. So now you have a pretty good consolidation day, which is usually good for explosions, which you can see over there. Think of back to the Bollinger Band. Once you have some tight price action, this can happen. Obviously, when this happens, you need to pull back. So you have this explosion up, right? Pull back 68.6. So you could potentially look into this, something like this for the climb if you wanted to. But pullback's pretty ugly. If you're just gonna ignore the gap, right? Play here. You got some good levels, some possible plays, but can't really ignore the gap. And since this isn't a valid pullback here, because all you got would be nothing, right? So you can squeeze sometimes 78.6, but that's like the lowest you can get, right? So even throughout the day here, you can't even get that. So this isn't a valid pullback, so I wouldn't play any of this. Yeah, you could just ride this trend and make a good play, but I look for pullbacks. Too risky. Okay, so now we have our new highs over here. New low right here. Actually add a little higher high at the end of the day there, but move that guy over. Okay, so next day. So we slowly put up overnight. We opened up slightly below, went up, went under, set a new low, so it invalidates that play. It climbs up, does have a nice rejection here, stabilizes, creates a new high, so I would be happy with that play. Right here, money is also in the positive. Obviously we go up a little bit, probably move our stop loss and break even on this play. So this would be a washaroonie. Okay, activate here. New high. Got a new low. So we pulled up, pushing down, pulled back a little bit more, which is is always nice to see, right? So at least we're getting now into a reasonable pullback, right? So we're past 68 or 78%. So going to this day, here's our low from yesterday. Definitely don't want to play anything below that. Opens up, rejects this level, too far a pullback, goes up here, actually cross over here, but too deep a pullback, goes up, stays under, rejects, comes back up, clears, comes back, does some rejections. This guy does clear the high but hasn't crossed over yet. Has a crossover here. Let's look more into that one. Pulls up, comes down, out of the money, out of the money, out of the money, not in the money till over here. So we have this rejection here. So up, pulls back too deep. I don't like that deep pullback. Makes a new high, cuts here, pulls up here, and crosses over here. So set up a so it's a new low, creates a higher low, crosses over here into the money. So I would be comfortable here. Let's see the risk I'm taking on. So as you can see, that actually cleared the low of the day. So after messing with the support, broke free and went up. So lots of room to grow, and you can see erased our second target. First target would have been here, so we could have got out this little hammer candle. It's a good play. Let's do two more. Crazy kids coming. New low of the day. New high of the day. What? Flatten. You have to pump it up. So, got some move overnight. Shot up in the morning. So we have a longer term setup here. So, rejecting at 38.2. There's our high of the day. Want it to cross over, crosses over at the high of the day, rejects the high of the day, pulls back, gives us momentum to clear if we want to play. So looking for something. So rejection candle, doesn't clear the high. So that's our new candle, doesn't clear the high. So this is a good candle here. So only thing we have to worry about here is the high of the day. But it did pull back overnight, so that gives us a pretty confident move that we can get up there. And as you can see, it breaks that level, comes up to here, closes above the high, which definitely on a lower time frame, right? So this is our big fib. On our intraday fibs, which puts at the high of the day. So enter here, we want to go up at least 2 fibs to get profit. So our profit would be here, right where that candle's at. So that's a valid play. And this chop here, crossover, is pretty strong because all the support is just hammering this, right? And you have this bull flag lineup. So you got support down here, it's making lower lows, but once it breaks out, you can see it pops. So that's a good play. And we'll do one more. So high of the day, low of the day.
Look at Daddy. Look at.
So consolidation, rejection of the high of the day, opens up really strong over the high of the day. What are you doing, silly pumpkinhead? And this is like the perfect action, right? So you break the high of the day, reject it here, so that establishes a new short-term high, right? Rejects at the 50 level, which is the high of the day, which is also on the 34, and then it establishes a inside bar, couple dojis, and then a nice solid candle to enter on. So you'd have entered right here, you go all the way up to here, and got a nice solid play for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And since I'm on a roll, I'll do one more. So, new high of the day. New low of the day. Okay, so we have this really nice high to low here. So I'm always, if I'm looking for entries on a medium size here, I always fib the previous high and lows. So, especially when it's a valid looking play, right? So, if things don't line up, what you can always do is just play with your fib, right? So, the low is over here, right? Low to high. So you could say this is up, consolidation. This is maybe this is wave 1, wave 2, this is wave 3, 4, and then you get up to 5, right? So this one is at 38, which is still in my range for the above the low of the day. We clear the 50% of the day, which is what we want. Still hasn't crossed over, so we're waiting. This is a new high. We break the new high. We have a nice rejection candle here, and there's almost a crossover here. And this does break the previous high, so I'd be happy doing this candle. Long term, we got these two bars. If we want a short term fib it, my guess is it'll be fairly close because of symmetry. So here we would be risking the bottom of this, so a couple points, and we would run up 8 points. So definitely be happy with that. Probably get out on this, either this rejection here or here. Not a big play, but a valid play. Happy with that. Alright, last one, I promise. Alright, so another consolidation day. High of the day there. We have the low of the day here. And a lot of times on plays, if it looks good, it's good, right? I mean, this is a clean pullback, right? So it's like gapping down overnight, but it's as long as it's in that 60% range, anywhere in here, I'm cool with it, right? And if you can make it make sense somehow and have a good play at the lower time frame, it's just double verification, right? So up here, we gapped up overnight. We came down and rejected the high of the day. Beautiful. Pull up, crosses over here. That's fairly extended, right? Short-term fib. Does have us below 38, so we're not going to want to play that. Right? So then it comes up here, establishes a new low, which is a new fib. It's resetting the market for me intraday. So I'll fib this guy. We rejected right at 38. Beautiful, right? You have this rejection. Try to push up. Did a really solid doji bar. And then that's also at 38. It clears that with ease. Creates this other doji bar and then clears that. Gives us some room for a play. Enough room that I'm happy. Could push up to the high of the day. We are in the green in the money, so I would make this play. Looks like this could have been a break-even play. Not sure. So I'm on up 1 and 2. This bar here coming off like that probably give me some signs that the play's over. And since I would only be going 2 outways up, and we got this rejection up here, definitely in the next bar when it like tips out like this and drops, probably be getting out. I might set on it and ride it, but then it's just going down, right? So plays like this, you know, you enter here. We'll finish off with something like this, showing me my support and resistances and my targets. So entering on this candle. Alright, so as soon as it cleared here, we're entering. Alright, stop loss is just below that candle. We also have this candle here for a little bit more room, so we can put the stop loss here. It tests it here, but we need the 5-minute candle to close there, so we're not worried about that guy. Our target, like I said, if we're gonna go off of this new established fib, would be up here. Things about targets too is you never want to let the target pass, right? So when you go towards a target, like right here, you're getting close to it if you're happy with a profit, right? And it just settles and doesn't really go anymore, and you notice it's overextended like this. Cash flow's pretty low, but this could be a good play, and you might be happy with that, right? You got in here. This is 1, 2. So see, technically, if I got in perfect timing, it's a 2-bar play. So I would be happy with profits here, and I would take it here. But if I did see it open and start going down, I'd just take my profits and go. So as you can see, the risk and reward, even from just underneath, right? I mean, you're still risking over 2 to 1, which anything over 1.5 to 1 is acceptable, but 2 to 1 is at least is the goal I go for. And when I remove this, right, you can see this play, right? So goes up, a really strong pullback. You got double rejection here, triple, quadruple. If you're gonna move up a little bit, this is kind of an area, right? Some support on this side of it, rejection on this side of it, and then it breaks that really nicely back up. Clears the 8 and the 34, pops, rejects on the 8, clears the 34, and then once it clears, and it clears the previous highs right here, that's where I'm in. So on my way up, got a new low, or higher low, going to clear this. It easily clears the previous high, or you can actually see it rejects it, right? So it clears it, comes back down, pushes back through, comes back down, pushes back through, and then actually peaks up at the 127, so that would be the perfect exit. But I probably would see this, it would turn green, I would go out, because you would notice right away, you'd see the rejection. So that's my style. So just to recap, my daily chart, right? There's a lot of stuff going on here, obviously, but 513 crossover, learn from the fib queen, right? I mean, usually on charts you can see when there's uptrend, right? So this is it's just trending up really hard, right? Some consolidation here in the crossover areas where you could look going short, but right here I just wouldn't play. Once it's a powerful, you got this really strong 13 EMA, or 13 EMA going up. It crosses here, right? And then starts a short-term downtrend, crosses back up, still hasn't crossed here, so that's at least consolidation or downtrend. You wouldn't go along here. Clears back down, so this is downtrend. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once it breaks here and there was a crossover, I would look to go long. But the fib queen taught me just using the crossover if it looks good. So I'm green here, so I'm going green. And since it never changed its pattern, the 5 is still above the 13. I'm only looking for longs. So as you can see, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plays I showed you, one was bad, one was a break even, and there was this big guy I didn't play, this bad one I didn't play. So you can see there's sometimes even on really big days, right? So if we mark this, right, just to go look at it. Right? So that was a gap up day, right? Even though that day was so green, right? This is like perfect day, right? Make big money, right? If you for swing trading for sure. But I got no entries. I don't have no entries. I'm not playing, right? So no likey. And this right here is just consolidation. Yeah, I can look at it now and probably play here. And what would happen is I'd go up, go up, go up, go up, and I'd be out of the trade because it's like over an hour of doing nothing. I wouldn't even be interested anymore. So if you wanted to make this gray, you could. And I think I checked this already, but I can double check. Well, I mean, intraday, there is a fib. There is a crossover. It is in the money. So, it's very possible I would play this. And then it would go up. And usually when you have this downward motion, this crosses back over right at my thing. It's time to get out. So this would be a break-even day. So I'll even throw in another trade. If I want to look at the other day, what was the other day? Red candle here. So should be easy to find. It's only one now that wasn't a trade. So is this really ugly day? So looking back, where was the low and highs? Don't really need a market to see. So high of the day, it actually opened up at the high, and down here is the low, right? So if you want to say here, pushed up. If you want to consider this a pullback, it's not because this guy doesn't close below this, so we're not counting that. So it comes up here. This is a pullback, successful pullback. Problem here is you're not clearing the previous high, right? So still a lower high. So up, down, down, still a downtrend, right? You do get a shift in momentum here because there is a new high. So this would be considered a lower, higher low. So if there was a play, which here it clears this, so there isn't, as you can see, there's no way to even pretend that I wouldn't notice this, because when you're setting these levels, right, you got, here's a new high, right? This breaks the previous low, so that puts us in a downtrend. We have a lower high, right? Now a new lower low. Here's a new high, but doesn't clear this guy. We have another low, which doesn't clear this one, so this could be an uptrend, right? And then here you even get a slightly higher high, so okay, we got an uptrend. But problem here is what is the problem here, Ryan? So we got this oh wait, we never cleared this yet still, right? So here, pullback. What's our pullback? We cleared 78.6, so it's not very deep. which wouldn't make it a very strong play. And if we went here, we are in the money, so, and we do have some room. So let's see here, where was our previous levels at? So high of the day and low of the day, right? So it's the high and the low on here. So down, down, didn't clear, push down, pulled up. You'd have to wait for it to clear here, which it does. At that point, you are pretty high, and you're already close to the high of the day. It's interesting. Sometimes hindsight's 20/20, and it's hard to tell if you actually would play something. Let's just dig a little deeper, huh? So we have our high and our low. Right? We're in the day. Downtrend. So still downtrend. Established a new uptrend, right? So we're still watching for this, right? Because it didn't break this level yet. So sets a new high. We are above. We did have a crossover. We did reject multiple times here, and then we did clear it. So, yeah. It's just if you're comfortable. The risk here in the trade is low, right? Really low. But the reward, you have this high here from the next day. You have the 127 here, right? And you have this support. So you have a layer here, you have a layer here, you have a layer here. You're only risking this, right? So that's the risk. You're entering here. And your first one, you're talking 1.5 to 1. So trades like this is if you want the risk reward, right? So the risk, you're risking 4 points to get 6 points. That's your first support level, and you can see it clearly didn't hit that hindsight. But if you let this go to break this spot and then retest here would be a better trade. But if you're just taking all the trades that meet your requirements, you would probably be on this one. You'd come up, you'd be rejecting here. You would probably move your stop loss to here. It wouldn't. It would reject here and stop you out here. So I could see this being considered a losing trade. I could see myself in hindsight taking this, even though I really wouldn't want to now, just from looking at the risk reward. But you got to keep an eye out on what you're doing. Anytime you look back at the charts, you could always say, hey, I would take this trade. But seeing the extension of the trade, you're like, oh yeah, I wouldn't take this trade. And in reality, the pullback's pretty weak, and maybe I should set that standard of not taking the trade there. But since I have a new low, but then I set a higher low, cleared the higher low, crossed over, and then if we want more confirmation if I would have took the trade, right? Let's look back here. Right, so we've done this on a previous trade. So you got your low here and your high there. Alright, like I said, make the trade work. So so now we're coming up, right? So I could try this trade. This one drops below Clears the 61, gives us room there, so you can see even there you have a little more room. So you do have a fairly strong here, right? This is actually 3, 4, 5, 6, a lot of rejections, right? And if you're entering here with only that much room, that makes the trade even less viable, right? Looking at it from this perspective. So you want to change your perspective again, right? So this is the new high. This is a reset, right? So now, resetting here, you wouldn't take that trade. But you're resetting now, and you make your intraday high here. You consider this an up and down, right? So this is your low. So it climbs up in your after hours. Now you're invalidated, so you definitely wouldn't take that as a long trade. So then you're back making this your intraday trade. And excuse me. So here's your low. Now you're definitely not using that as a swing, right? So you come on up here. You have come up, you have a rejection here, and pulled past 68. It's not quite 61, but you can still be satisfied with it. So you see your targets once again, and you should always look to your left to see if it's worth the risk, right? So where is your major areas of support just from the previous day? So you have a here, so this is a rejection there and a resistance there. You have this guy, which we already looked at, which is really strong, right? Which is your level. So when you go here, you're like, all right, well, here's the level, and it's the support, and it rejected to make the support. It slightly pulls off of that, and the only bar, the bar that you're actually entering on, is right at the support. And as you can see, the move even said, I'll see what I can do here. And if you look back on that level, it tried, you know, don't like that. Came out, but then collapsed. You go back further, tried, came out, collapsed, rejected, around at it again. So since this is such a stronger support, I wouldn't take this trade. So one thing you got to learn when you're doing trading, right, is you always look for ways to make the trade work, and then once you have that established, look for reasons not to take the trade, right? So a smarter choice would be, I believe this was your daily high, right? So then wait for this to clear, right? So if even it was a good move, right, you would expect to get up to here, at least up to here, right? So then wait for this to clear and reject. Then you know that you got some more room. Alright, have a good night, everyone.